Look at me in the closet. How fitting. Hello, everybody. Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Joseph Leroux. This is going to be a re-upload of my video that I had made a while back that I had taken down of my 2026 goals and how they've been going. I decided to take that last video down and re-upload it with some more appropriate language and just kind of better verbiage of some things, because since I had posted that video, some of my thoughts have changed on some things, and so I just kind of wanted to not have that up on the channel. I wanted to post it in a way that I'd feel comfortable, like overall just more comfortable, because it's like more neutral in a sense, just kind of talking more about me and not so much about other things that are going on. So I wanted to start this video by asking you, the audience, if you are here watching this video right now, thank you for clicking on this video. Like I had said before, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Really would mean a lot to me. How is your 2026 going? Did you set goals for yourself this year? Are you meeting those goals? If you're not, that's fine. Nobody else has the right to dictate you accomplishing certain things in your life. Everybody has their reasons. Everybody has things that happen in their life that deviate from plans. You know, there's a saying that I've always liked because it makes total sense, is the man makes plans and God laughs, which means you can plan everything to the T, be the most organized and thought out person, and you're over here planning the future, and then it's like, yeah, but that's not what's in store for you. You're gonna be going through some trials and tribulations that are not gonna be helping you with those goals. Your life is going on a way different path, and you think you're going this way, but I've got plans for you, buddy. You're going this way. So I always thought about that saying, and it makes me laugh because it is so true. You know, life happens, and whether by some divine force or just circumstance and coincidence, you know, you could be planning things and have it all figured out, and then it'll just come out of left field and everything will deviate. So I'm genuinely curious. I would really like to know, and I would appreciate the engagement from you guys. Tell me how your 2026 is going, because I would like to share with you guys that my 2026 thus far, it is now the end of March, so we are pretty much completely 3 months in. It's not been the best for me, so my goals have not been getting accomplished. A lot's been going on in my life that I'm not going to get into. It's mostly just kind of affected my emotional state, and I've lost a lot of motivation compared to what I was feeling when I made these goals and was setting out to accomplish in the beginning of the year. Because in the very beginning of the year, in early January, I was hitting my marks. I was trying really, really hard to accomplish my goals that I had set for myself, because I had a lot of motivation to do it. I saw a lot of reason to commit and grow, and I still see those reasons. I still have that commitment. What can I say, you guys? You know, it's been hard, and things have dragged me down a bit, and it's hard to stay motivated when you just feel a certain type of way. But I'm trying hard to not let that continue to be the case, which is why I'm making this video, is because this is the 3 month update, and being the honest truth, I have not been accomplishing my goals. There's no other way to skirt around that. I can't say like, well, yeah, but I've been doing this and that. You know, there is no excuse other than my emotional state has not been where it was. It's not been in a good place, and I've been working on that. But the outcome of that was just not meeting my goals. And I want to get into it with you guys of what my goals were. I want to share those goals with you, and I'm hoping that you feel comfortable sharing your goals with me. So my goals revolved around three main aspects of life, and that was my mind, my body, and my soul. The three main key components to any human being that make a good person. The things that you need a healthy balance of to live a good life and have a good lifestyle. So I'm going to get into that. The first one I want to start with is my soul, because I feel like that was a big one. And also my soul one of the aspects on there is kind of attributed to the rest of my goals not being met, because a big part of the goals that I had in mind with my soul were to control my emotions. I've lived a lot of my life kind of being a very emotional person and reacting poorly to things and making bad decisions and not thinking past the moment of heightened emotional vulnerability. So, when I'm very upset, when I'm very happy, when I'm very sad, sometimes when I'm very angry, I'm impulsive and I just kind of make decisions or I act on things without really thinking about it. And I've been trying to become better at controlling that type of aspect of my life. I've been doing well on that type of aspect. I've taken some therapy. I've taken some management classes. I've meditated a lot and kind of just gotten better at taking time to process emotions rather than just having outbursts and impulsive decisions. That's kind of where I'm at with that one. I think I've been meeting my goals for emotional balance and emotional control. I've been showing a lot of love and communication with people, and some of those people, maybe there were reasons in the past where we didn't talk, and so I've kind of been going on this journey to make amends with certain people and kind of rebuild relationships. Another aspect of my soul was my relationship. So, my relationship, I've been setting the goal to do better in my relationship, and in all relationships, I should specify, treat people better, commit more, putting in more effort, and showing people that I care. Kind of just strengthening relationships. That's a big one that I want to do with my soul, because I feel like that has to do with your soul. Relationships with people and connections with people. That's a big part of your soul. And I was gonna say, when it comes to like emotions, maybe you can attribute that to like something to do with your mind, but I feel like it has more to do with your soul, because maybe it's corny to say, but your emotions, I feel like, come from more than just your head. It's like your whole body. You take your whole body into account, and so it's like more of a deeper thing, your emotions, than just like thinking things. So I attribute my emotions and relationships to people as part of my soul and what I would like to accomplish in terms of my goals when it comes to that. Of course, the other big part of my soul is my spirit, and that has been a journey in it of itself. So my spirit, of course, I am speaking religiously. I am 29, almost 30, and for my entire life, pretty much, I have gone without seeking religion and basically turned my back on God. So I feel like that has attributed a lot to kind of like how my life has turned out, and a lot of the decisions that I've made, and maybe not having as much guidance that I've needed throughout my life. I thought really long and hard about what it would mean to me and what it really means to like seek God, and not just like be religious, but like to really want to try and make an effort to know God. And I feel like that's kind of been a part of my journey this year. Is I thought really hard about a lot of things with my life, and I came to the conclusion that this is something that needs to change. This is something that needs to happen. I think I'm done going about my life thinking that I know what's best for me, and not to get that confused with that I don't know what's best for me. Like I obviously do know what's best for my own body and whatnot, like for how to make decisions for myself and whatnot. But living without the teachings of the Bible, I think, has probably led me down some wrong paths that wouldn't have resulted in some pretty bad situations had I been closer to God and maybe had a better relationship in that aspect. I've been reading the Bible, I've been attending some meetings where we study the Bible. I've gone in person a few times this year, and Most of the time I attend via Zoom because some of the meetings are held through Zoom and it's kind of more convenient for me. So I've been doing that. I've been praying every night, trying to just kind of feel more comfortable talking to God. In the past, I'd feel silly doing such a thing, and it's kind of hard to shake that off. It's not a transition that goes from one day to the next. It's not like I've been agnostic or atheist for 29 years, and then this year I'm just like full on board, super religious, faithful guy. I'm like totally committed to God. It's been a journey of me getting to know somebody that I consciously have made an effort not to get to know. So far, the journey has been going well. That's just kind of like what I mean by that. So, the next goal that I had was centered more towards my mind and like my mental capacity or my mental health. That I feel like has been going pretty well. Some of the goals that I had in terms of my mind, I've made a lot of decisions in the past that I think maybe have kind of like put me at a, I don't know if detriment is the right word. It's probably safe to say that mentally I'm kind of distracted. I've not really been using my brain to its full capacity, and that's probably why. Some of the things that I wanted to do in terms of accomplishing goals for bettering my mental health and focusing on my mind were doing what I call a brain rot reversal. That's a term that I coined there, is because I am trying really hard to cut back on screen time and things like video games and like just TV and doom scrolling, stuff like that, because that it has killed my attention span. I mean, it is ran it straight into the gutter. There was a point in my life where I couldn't talk to somebody for more than like a minute without getting annoyed or just kind of like feeling bored. I was diagnosed with ADHD at a young age, and that's something that I struggled with because my mom tried putting me on medication when I was a kid, but she took me off of it because she did not like how the medication kind of like killed my personality. It was really hard for her to see her son go from like a lively, energetic, independent human being to just kind of like a zombie. And I think that I relate to her very much on that. I'm grateful to her for not forcing me to stay on that medication because I think I turned out okay. I'm just a little bit distracted sometimes. Cutting back on doom scrolling and all that stuff, I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job in general. One of my hardest challenges was probably cutting back on video games, you guys, because growing up, I did not have any friends. I did not have any kind of social life or anything of the sort. I wasn't in sports, I wasn't in any clubs, I didn't have other kids who wanted to hang out with me. I didn't have anyone really other than kind of like my immediate family, and my immediate family I bonded with through playing video games. And so a lot of the time, all of the time, all of the time, I was in my room at home. I was playing video games, because that's what I would do. It was just me. When you don't have any friends, you kind of immerse yourself in a virtual reality where things are better. That's kind of what I did. That's the route that I had gone on in my early years, and it's persisted throughout my adulthood. Treating virtual reality like it's better than my actual reality. I don't know, it's just so easy to immerse myself in worlds that others created rather than the one that I'm living in. I've been trying pretty hard to cut back on my video games, but that's hard to do because I am making more content that is centered around video games. So that's a double-edged sword. I'm trying to cut back on my video game time, but I'm also like playing more video games so that I can produce more content for the channel. That side of the channel might not be for everybody because this is kind of a post channel where I just kind of post whatever's going on. Sometimes it might be a vlog, sometimes it might be a sit down video, sometimes it might be a carefully edited video that I put together for myself or some friends of mine, and then I wanted to put out into the world. Or maybe it's going to be just some random video game stuff that I posted. Maybe it's going to be some music that I posted. It's just a little bit of everything on this channel. So be sure to subscribe. I've been reading a lot more. I've been trying to get more immersed in worlds created through words and paper rather than the digital kind. I've been trying harder to commit more time to reading. I've been reading lots of books this year. Actually, I feel like I've been doing pretty well on that. So far, I've read 4 books, and that doesn't sound like a lot because it's been 3 months, but I mean, I feel like it's pretty good. A lot of people don't read 4 books in a whole year rather than 3 months. Props to those that could read 4 books in 2 weeks. Those are the real readers. Those are the book talk people. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks too. I love audiobooks. Audiobooks I've probably listened to over 1,000 hours of, and that's probably just this year. I love audiobooks because I don't know, since I have ADHD, it's kind of hard to sit still and read the books. So I like to put the earbuds in and just kind of listen to some good narrators. The Dark Somnium is one of my favorites. Vidith 22 is one of my favorites. Even Mr. Creeps. I like Mr. Creeps. I don't really like his voice because he reminds me of the Burger King foot lettuce guy. His stories are very unique. At least he goes out of his way to put unique and interesting stories on his channel. Mr. Creepypasta is one of them. Creeps McPasta, he's a good one. I like his British accent. He's good. My microphone died, so I was worried that it wasn't capturing any of the audio anymore. So now I'm using the cell phone audio. I hope you guys can still hear me. Where I left off on that was pretty much the only narrator that I don't like is House Horror, because he is a very lazy type of narrator. He gets his stories basically off of anywhere, most likely Reddit, and he had a very drastic influx of stories that are specifically like lists of rules, and I hate those stories because they're just such lazy writing. Like, there's no narrative or story driven aspects, like there's no effort put into it. You're filling the page literally by numbering the paragraphs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like literally you're doing that, and it's such an easy way to fill a page that that's what his channel is he runs the clock by reading things that take time to read, and then he posts them. So I don't like his channel. Go to any narrator other than him, as long as it's not AI. But even some AIs, I mean, come on now, people. Like, yes, where there's the debate of like, oh, we shouldn't be giving AI, like, I don't know what to say, opportunities or like credit for stuff. But like, when it comes to things like, I mean, I don't even know, dude. Like, I'm guilty of using AI for some art. I like to draw. I like to make music. I like to do a lot of stuff creatively myself, But like, AI is such an amazing tool to do a lot of things. And it sucks that some really great artists are like going out of being able to like support themselves and stuff like that because of AI. I totally understand that. For amateur artists like me, AI is amazing. So shoot me. I'm guilty of using AI for generating images. I like listening to certain forms of AI generated music. It's funny to hear 21 Questions by 50 Cent as if it were like done by a jazz band. That's good. Call me crazy. That hits the spot right there. It's good music. I like it. I've been listening to a couple AI narrators. Maybe the voice is something difficult to get over, and I don't know if the stories were AI generated or if they were written by people and then the narrator himself was AI. But I have been enjoying them. It's easy to just kind of let go and listen. That's just me. That's my personal opinion. I don't mind AI as much. The other aspect that I was getting into was creativity. I like to create music. I've been creating music. I'm creating music right now, and hopefully it'll be released soon. I can't promise you guys any dates because that is a very, very time consuming process. I like to draw. I've been drawing semi regularly. What I hope to accomplish this year is to create a comic book or some kind of graphic novel. That would be really cool. My art is not the best, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna commit to doing it and try my best so that I can at least say and look back and be proud of myself and say, I did that. I accomplished it. I am promising myself that I will do that. I like creative writing. I've been writing a story Again, it kind of ties into the graphic novel thing, but not entirely. I like creative writing. It's very easy for me to put words to a paper and make stories. I used to make stories all the time and then I would throw them away. Biggest regret of my life is writing all these amazing stories and then just like crumpling them up and throwing them in the trash. I should not have done that. I should have thought more of myself and my work, because then I would by now have a library of short stories and maybe even a full novel by now, if I had ever gotten to publish it, anything like that. But I've been writing a story and I'm hoping that it comes to fruition where I can publish it either here, narrated by me, or to some other extent. Most likely it's going to be here on the channel. I'll share it with you guys and I'll most likely narrate it myself. Or I might save up some money and hire one of those awesome narrators that I told you guys about. You know, we'll see where that goes. If you know of any of those narrators or any other great voice actors that are looking for commissions or something like that, please send me their info, because I'm actually really serious about that, on wanting to find somebody to read the story once it's completed. Because if I don't find anybody, then it'll just be me, and that'll be an accomplishment in and of itself. But I feel like others can do that better, so if I can find somebody for the job, then I'll go that route instead. Content creation and filmmaking. I've always wanted to get into filmmaking, like cinematically. I don't think I'm going to accomplish that this year unless I get some help from others, because one of the difficult things about cinema is being behind the camera, and there's only so much I can do by fixing the camera on a tripod and then like performing a scene in front of it, and then going about it that way, and then just like moving around. I can do that. I probably will attempt to accomplish at least one video like that at some point, but I'm probably not going to commit so much time to that unless I get some help with filmmaking, because having a cameraman would make all of the difference. And that would be difficult for me because I like to be the cameraman. I like knowing what my vision is and making that happen. So I've always told myself, like, if I ever get into the filmmaking industry, I don't have the face for acting. I don't have the talent for acting. So I would want to be like behind the camera. I would want to be the person making the movie rather than starring in it. So, when it comes to filmmaking and creativity and things like that, I'll make videos like this and I'll keep producing content. I'm hoping to get this channel up to maybe like 100 to 200 subscribers. As of right now, I think I'm at like 33, which is amazing. It's amazing. 33 people is a lot. If you think of a room full of 33 people, that is a lot of people. The internet and the idea of having millions of subscribers has really put a damper on what realism is and how huge of an accomplishment it is to have 5 subscribers, or like 10 subscribers, something like that. Like, you can fill a room with 10 people. You could sit at a table with 5 people. Like that's huge. You've got 5 people, 5 actual people like me and you, and they're choosing to subscribe to your channel and watch your content. That's a pretty big deal. And I feel like if you're one of those people, if you're somewhere like me, be proud of however many you have. If you're being consistent and you're putting in the effort, not only is that something to be proud of because you're doing it for you, and you can always say, like, at least I did it. I've got videos up online and I've done this and that, and I've attempted to do this, and I've put out this content. And a lot of people don't. How many videos have you made? How much time have you put into wanting to put yourself out there? I would say be proud of that, but I hope to grow this channel. We'll see where that goes. Up until recently, I was a part of another channel that's all the way up to, I think, almost 600 subscribers, which is amazing. So lastly, I wanted to bring up the goal of my body and my physical health. This is probably the one that I've been lacking the most and not having the most consistency with. If you guys have been paying attention to when I was talking about my mind and my soul, I feel like I've been hitting my marks on those. Now that I think about it, I feel like I've been doing pretty well on those. Physically, though, I think is where my emotional state has drained my motivation to do things the most, because it is hard to want to exercise and do a lot of like physical activity when you're just like not feeling it. It's different from like I'm really tired and I don't want to go to like the gym, I'm not feeling it today. This is kind of like I'm not feeling getting out of bed type of emotional state. Like I'm not really feeling like talking to anybody. I'm not feeling like eating anything. I just feel like laying in bed and falling asleep and just waiting for the next day to come so that I can get up and go to work and get that done so that I can bring in a paycheck and then come home and lay in my bed and fall asleep and wait for the next day to come. It's kind of been that type of emotional state for me, you guys. I'm trying to do better. I'm doing better. I'm feeling better. It's just been a journey. It's been difficult. 2026 has been a roller coaster for me thus far. If I can be completely honest, it's probably been the hardest year of my almost 30 years. It's been hard, but I'm doing okay. Exercising daily is not something that I've been doing. At the start of the year, early January, I was doing this. I was exercising consistently, putting in so much effort, and really, really, really trying to be fit and healthy. And then I just kind of got hit with this big wave of depression. And so I've lost that motivation. So I've not been doing that. I've been eating better. I've not been eating so much fast food or greasy food or like just unhealthy junk food, things of that nature. But I do indulge from time to time. One of my favorite things to indulge in is milkshakes, specifically Moose Track milkshakes, because that is my favorite ice cream, and it's also my son Nathan's favorite ice cream. So going to the store and ordering a Moose Track milkshake just kind of like brings me home. I'm right there. I'm sitting and vibing on a park bench with my son, and we're chatting, and he's laughing and asking me questions, and it makes me think of him. So Moose Tracks, I'm gonna keep drinking those. I'm gonna keep drinking those milkshakes, and I don't care if it makes me chubby. I've cut back on fast food. I don't really go to fast food restaurants anymore. Yeah, I cut out all that super processed stuff. I'm more home cooked meals these days, and that doesn't always look like vegan dishes, but at least it's being made in the kitchen rather than in a restaurant. Not to mention it's saving money. I've cut out a lot of my bad habits. I don't smoke anymore. I don't drink. I never was a big drinker, so it was pretty easy for me to just quit drinking cold turkey. But smoking was a difficult thing for me to quit because I used to smoke cigarettes at a young age, and then I stopped doing that to smoke other things, and I overindulged in those things, and that kind of like messed with me, and it affected my life negatively. So I cut that out of my life, and I'm proud that I have cut that out of my life. So I mean, I feel like all of these things are my goals, and other than my physical goals and my goals to attain a better physical lifestyle, I feel like I've been somewhat meeting my goals now that I think about it. And I guess I'm kind of proud of that. I promise that I'm going to do better on accomplishing more things mentally, spiritually, and physically. I promise that within the next 3 months, I will focus more on attaining a healthier lifestyle and exercising more. And I hope that this channel can be proof of that. So, again, thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here. It really means a lot to me. Thanks for spending the time. And if you share any of the same goals as me, if you liked anything that I talked about today, please hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and stick with me because
there's a lot that is going to be going on this year and, in the years to come. This is a small channel. You still have a chance to be a part of it while it's still growing and see that growth. I would really like to know what your guys' goals are. Maybe there's some things that I can try to adopt and try and do for myself. It would really help me out, and I would like to see where you guys are in your journey. Maybe we can motivate each other and things like that. So thank you guys. Until next time. Bye.